And there is one more song I want to look at. It's called Birds Don't Sing.
Birds don't sing, they screech and play.
It was the hardest record to make. Wow. Like, it was the hardest record to make.
It's the intro to the Clipse album. And it's this very heartfelt love letter that Pusha T and Malice wrote to their parents, both of them who are deceased, according to the song. Malice has this very just open verse that we'll get to, and he spoke about this verse in an interview with The Breakfast Club, and I'll kind of include some of those clips. And Pusha T also has another, I feel, rare verse where he really opens up more than I've ever seen Pusha T open up like this before. So Pusha T's verse is written to their mom, and Malice's verse is written to their dad. Like, they're kind of dedicating one verse to each parent, which I think is a cool concept. And Pusha T's verse, it literally sounds like he sat down and wrote the verse to his mom. He's even mentioning people by first name. He's saying Gene, that's Malice's first name. He's saying Gene, he's saying Bup, which is, I would assume, is someone in their family's nickname. They call them Bup. Dee Dee, like, he's speaking only in a way that she and other family members would understand. Whenever rappers get super vulnerable like this, I applaud them, because I find it hard myself to even get vulnerable like this to people I know. So to get vulnerable like this to your entire audience, to your entire listening audience, the entire world, that takes something that I don't quite have in me yet, right? So there's some regret that Pusha T has regarding his mom and his mom's passing. He mentions it here in the verse.
Some experience death and feel numbness, but not me. I felt it all and couldn't function.
He says, some experience death and feel numbness, but not me. I felt it all and couldn't function. I mean, that's just a brilliant way to say that. Some people experience the death of others around them and they feel numb to it, which is very understandable. I just feel numb to it at a certain point, especially when you've experienced so much of it. Pusha T is saying, like, yo, I wasn't numb. I felt it all. It's like, you go to the dentist and they numb your mouth to yank a tooth out. Pusha T is like, no, I wasn't numb at all to your passing. I felt all of it and I couldn't function. It's debilitating pain. Seeing you that day, telling you my plans, but I was leaving you that day. It was in God's hands. Kanye was at Elon's waiting to get with me. So Pusha T is painting this whole picture of, it sounds like he was supposed to be somewhere with his family or with his mom, but instead he's going to conduct business with Kanye over at Elon Musk's house. So Pusha T is like, yo, I'm leaving in Texas. And then Virginia, who's Pusha T's wife. I mean, we all know Virginia is Pusha T's wife thanks to Drake. Like, Drake name dropped the poor woman in a song. First and last government name.
I'ma let it ring on you like Virginia Williams.
This is why the story of Adidon came out, because Drake just decides to mention dudes' wives who have nothing to do with rap beef, right? We're just going to name drop her in the song, first and last name. So unfortunately, we all already know that Virginia is Pusha T's wife. That's when Virginia hit me. I realized in that instance, our last conversation, you was against it. So it sounds like Pusha T's wife hit him, and his wife might have been like, yo, your mom was telling me you said this and that. Like, basically, Virginia is relaying to Pusha T, like your mom's not happy with the decision you're making to go do this when you're supposed to be over here with family. Pusha T explains what he told her was he was going to Turks and Caicos for Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving is a family event. This is time you're with family. Pusha T is like, no, I'm going to Turks and Caicos for Thanksgiving. Maybe there's business. Maybe he wants warmer weather for a vacation.
I was going to Turks for Thanksgiving. I heard what I wanted to hear, but didn't listen.
I heard what I wanted to hear, but didn't listen. So Pusha T kind of says it all without really saying it here. Just with this one bar, we realized that Pusha T's mom was very against this. You're going to Turks and Caicos for Thanksgiving? What? Pusha T doesn't say that. But he says, I heard what I wanted to hear, but I didn't listen. Didn't listen to what she was saying, or if she was against it. This is something that when people are sick, or I guess as they get older, I guess there's like this clock that people have. I don't know. I've heard that people start to feel their time ticking away as they get older. I don't know. But it seems like Pusha T's mom knew, whether if she already knew she was sick but didn't tell anybody, or if she could just feel it internally. So she's against it. Like, you going to Turks for Thanksgiving? She probably knows, like, this is probably one of my last few Thanksgivings. but she's probably not telling him all this. You know, a lot of times, especially when you're a strong presence in the family, a lot of older family members who are sicker, like grandmothers, grandfathers, you know, big aunties, they don't, even if they know they're sick and their time is ticking away, they're not explicitly telling people this because they don't want to spook people. They probably don't want to be treated differently. So Pusha T's mom is probably not even, I'm sure if she told him, like, yo, like XYZ is happening, I don't know how much time I got left, I'm sure Pusha T would have been like, oh yeah, facts, like I'm staying. I'm not going to Turks for Thanksgiving. But she's probably, the way Pusha T's delivering his verse, she's probably not telling him this explicitly. You said you told Gene that Buck needed forgiveness. Here's the nicknames. It's super personal. It's like Pusha T's talking directly to her. I see you went to Dee Dee's and stuffed both her fridges. You even told Dad you wish y'all never split it.
You even told Dad you wished y'all never split it. See, you were checking boxes, I was checking my mentions. Saying
you was checking boxes, I was checking my mentions. So this is why I said what I said earlier. Pusha T's mom probably felt it. She probably knew, she probably had a diagnosis. Whatever the case may be, she felt her time coming to an end. I guess she was prophetic in that way. I think Pusha T might feel similarly because he says it specifically. You were checking boxes. Like she was making sure all her checklist was good. Like she's like, I'm good. My conscience is good. She was checking boxes. I was checking my mentions. Pusha T's like, I wasn't really super concerned with it. But to Pusha T's credit, I don't think Pusha T's like a bad person for not recognizing this because again, I don't think he knows explicitly why his mom is doing all this. You know what I mean? So Pusha T is not really looking at this with the same eye, with the same care that he would if he knew that her time was taken away.
You was tired but not ready to go. Basically was dying without letting me know.
Saying you was tired but not ready to go basically was dying without letting me know. Again, without letting me know, but the signs are there. I loved you, met Nige. Hate that he won't remember you. Nige, I would assume is Pusha T's child, yeah. Dee Dee calls you. Gene finds you. Was that your vision? Gene is Malice. Malice done this interview with the Breakfast Club when he talks about, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, Malice found both of his parents passed away.
Did you find him deceased in the kitchen?
I found both of my parents, yeah. And everything that I have read from the Word of God took over. I had a complete sense of peace.
Like he went to their house and they were passed away. So Pusha T's like, yo, was that your vision? Did you want it to go like this? Because the way that she was, checking boxes, she knew what she was doing. So it's like, did you even plan how to final, our sister call you, you don't pick up, then Malice comes and he comes to check on you, and then is that all? Like you wanted it to happen that way? Precision? That's a great verse, man. That's a great verse. And this is why we need, like our great lyricists, we need them not just to rap about, coke, street-ish all the time. We don't need them just to rap about braggadocio all the time. Keep that in your rap still. We want that. But when our great lyricists can flip and then turn their sights to more important topics like this, or even like social issues, or things that actually affect us day to day, like they're lyrically gifted, the lyrically gifted ones. All y'all rappers is not lyrically gifted. So this ain't to all your rappers. But the ones who are lyrically gifted, they can do this with any topic. So we need more important verses like this. So anyway, verse 2 goes into Malice's verse, which is about their dad and how you kind of found their dad passed away.
Car was in the driveway, I knew you were home. By the third knock, a chill ran through my bones.
Your car was in the driveway. I knew you were home. By the third knock, a chill ran through my bones. But Malice pulls up to his pop's house. Car's in the driveway. Okay, he's home. He knocked one time. Okay, maybe you didn't hear. He knocked 2 times. But that's weird. He's usually, first of all, he usually hear the first knock. Second knock, that's odd. Still nothing. Third knock, a chill ran through my bones. He probably feels like, oh man, I hope the worst ain't happened.
Did you find him deceased in the kitchen?
I found both of my parents, yeah.
The way you miss mama, I guess I should have known.
But Malice goes on to say, yo, the way you miss moms, I should have known. I think Malice's parents, both of them passed away around the same time. His mom went first, then his dad. So he's looking at it like, yo, You missed her so much, though. I should have known that, you know, you probably want to be reunited with her.
Chivalry ain't dead, you ain't let her go alone.
Chivalry ain't dead. You ain't let her go alone. That's a bar right there. Malice looking at his dad like, yo, you miss mom so much when she passed. He's such a gentleman. He not gonna let her pass alone. Yo, I'm going too. I'm up out of here too. Peace, yo. Found you in the kitchen. Strict scriptures in the den. Half-written text you never got to send. So he's going through his house, you know, going through his belongings. He's seeing scriptures. You know, Malice is very religious too. Their father was a deacon. So, I mean, like father, like son, right? Coming through your dresser drawer, ready where I begin. Noted Bible quotes, were you preparing then? So this is something that Malice and Pusha T individually feel about their parents. It seems like they both feel like their parents knew their time was coming and they were just preparing for it.
Even those conversations was a type of preparation, you know, getting you ready for what was about to take place. So,
and it seems like the way they talk about it, it seems like they were also at peace with it. I can hear your voice now. I can feel your presence asking, should I rap again?
Asking, should I rap again? You gave me your blessing.
I had asked my dad, what do you think about me rapping again? He said, son, I think you've been too hard on yourself.
Remember, Malice left rap. He said his dad gave him his blessing. Like, yeah, you should go ahead, rap. Right here, Malice is talking about his memories with his dad. You know, shared you with my friend, the pops they never had. You lived for our fishing trips. Mine taught discipline, structure. Didn't mind when he had to pull a double shift. Mine worked overtime. Smiled through the struggle. Because mine wouldn't let us feel what he had to suffer. And I like this bar right here. And this is the last bar I'm going to cover because I'm going to go deep into this bar. So I'm going to save this little couplet to the end. So I'm going to just skip ahead right here.
I love my two sons was the code to your phone. Now you home.
I love my two sons was the code to your phone. So Malice is probably going through his dad's belongings now that he's passed. And he's finding all these notes and stuff and Bible quotes. And he probably finds, because you know, like older folks, they write down their password. I mean, not all older folks, maybe younger folks do this too, but they'll write down their passwords to certain things on a piece of paper. So Malice is finding like these passwords, and all of his dad's passwords were I love my two sons to things, some variation of that. So I mean, that's very heartwarming. And then we're going to get to these last two bars that I said I would cover because I'm going to make an extended point on this.
Mine made sure he had every base covered, so imagine his pain finding base in the cupboard.
Mine made sure he had every base covered. So imagine his pain finding base in the cupboard. Base, free base, crack cocaine. So it's this kind of whole nature versus nurture thing. The way that Malice and Pusha T speak about their parents is not something you would really hear in rap, right? You know, and even for the Black community, it is, I would say, rare, especially for guys of their age, you know, that age group, you know, 30s to 40s, really 40s to 50s. It seems like a lot of fathers at that time who were raising kids, they just were not around for whatever reason in the Black community. Malice and Pusha T do not have that story. They don't, I mean, it seems like their parents were separated. You know, Pusha T in his verse said, you know, you told dad you wish y'all never split it. But for all intents and purposes, it seems like they both had both of their parents active in their lives, which is not really a take you hear about much in rap. When you do hear it, it's an anomaly. So Malice is saying, yo, my dad worked double shifts. He worked overtime. He made sure we never had to suffer. Like we went fishing, like there was structure in our household. Malice is saying our dad had every base covered for us. So imagine his pain finding base in the cupboard. His dad is coming through the room or he's cleaning up and he finds crack cocaine. So it kind of gets to this whole thing of nature versus nurture, right? And I want to shout out this verse. Yo, if you don't cry to this song, I'm going to get off this song. I do want to give the props to this song because I'm going to talk more about these last two lines. But I do want to give this song props. I don't know. It's okay to cry to this song. I haven't cried to it yet. I've gotten choked up. But I just got my CD in the mail. This is the Clipse. Like God sorted them. This is this album. I'm sure once I've put this in my car and, you know, play it a couple of times, I'm going to have my drives where I get choked up and shed some tears over this song. This is a beautiful song, man. I wanted to take some time to shine light on this Pusha T verse on the song All Things Considered.
We gon' tuck it till it all falls down.
It's featuring Pharrell and The Dream. It's off the new Clipse album. Where Pusha T, he gets uncharacteristically vulnerable, speaking about things that I typically don't hear him speak about in his music. It's just this one verse. So let's take a look at it.
My mama cheek, I miss it. I wanna kiss it.
All things considered, let's be specific. My mama's cheek, I miss it. I want to kiss it. So it sounds like his mother just died. He misses those moments with his mom. Nige asking for siblings. I know he meant it. Nige asking for siblings. Now, I don't know much about Pusha T's life, but it sounds like he's talking about his child. His child wants brothers and sisters.
Nige asking for siblings. I know he meant it.
But V miscarried. We hit it.
V miscarried. We hit it. I'm glad he missed it.
I'm glad he missed it. V miscarried. So we know by now V is a reference to Pusha T's wife. We all know Pusha T's wife's name nowadays, thanks to Drake.
And I'ma let it ring on you like Virginia Williams.
Virginia, I assume this is who he's referencing when he says V miscarried. So, I mean, there's a lot right here. He speaks about his mother's death. He speaks about his child wanting siblings. And he speaks about him and his wife attempting it, but a miscarriage happens. Then he said, I'm glad he missed it. So this is a part that trips me up a little. I'm glad he missed it. 100,000, maybe you stick with it.
Pre-order the strollers. Our face in it. Pays for my stork with the baby in it.
Pre-ordered the strollers, our face in it. I pays for my stork with the baby in it. So they have this lyric wrong. They put stock. Pusha T said stork, you know, like on those cartoons where the little bird flies over with the baby in the pouch. Yeah, that's a stork. V miscarried. We hit it. I'm glad he missed it. I'm glad he missed it. I'm assuming this is a reference to Nige, which I assume is his son. Like, I'm glad he didn't see that. I'm glad he didn't know it because we hit it. We hit the fact that she miscarried. I'm glad my son didn't have to see that. 100,000 a maybe. You stick with it. Y'all help me out in the comments. What do you mean by this?
100,000 a maybe. You stick with it.
To me, just the way the verse is going, it sounds like Pusha T saying, whatever we need to pay, whatever we need to give to make this happen, this pregnancy happen, we gonna do it. We gonna stick with it. I could be wrong. Pre-ordered the strollers, our face in it. So this is just crushing. This is crushing. Like, your wife's pregnant. You wanted to have the baby. Your son's asking for siblings. You're so excited. But you pre-order strollers before the baby's even there, only to miscarry. I don't know a verse where Pusha T has shared this much with us. I don't know a verse like that. If y'all know times where Pusha T has gotten more vulnerable than this, you can let me know in the comments. If the sky's not your limit, you'll never get it. So it sounds like, and I don't want to assume too much on a verse like this, but the way that the Clipse raps, they rap almost in riddles. Like, it's not impossible to understand what they're saying, but they do leave a little bit up to interpretation for the audience. Like, they're not explicitly telling you everything. Like, they'll give it to you, but there's like a little piece that needs to be interpreted oftentimes. So to me, it sounds like Pusha T is going to pay to ensure that the pregnancy goes through. I pays 100,000 and maybe you stick with it. I pays for my stork with the baby in it. I'm paying for the bird to come, you know, and drop the baby off. If the sky's not your limit, you'll never get it. The stork, the bird flies in the sky. He's willing to pay for the stork in the sky. Because if not, you'll never get it. Like, I didn't understand what Pusha T was getting at here until I listened to this song, All Things Considered, and read the verse at the same time. There's quite a bit here. This isn't annotated on Genius as I record this, so we're going to have to break it down together, y'all. Then Pusha T kind of just, like, he kind of gives that to us, then he snaps right out of it. Turn niggas to statistic, I'm so sadistic. Like, he gets back in rapper mode. Here, it feels like Pusha T was not in rapper mode. He was in Terrence Thornton mode. He's Terrence Thornton. I'm Terrence Crawford. Bitch, I'm wolfing feet. He's in Terrence Thornton mode. Then he quickly gets right back into Pusha T mode. Turn niggas to statistics. I'm so sadistic, so religious, that's so malicious. Shout out to Malice, Pusha T's brother. Malice, malicious, root words. Blitzing niggas for riches, like 4th and inches. Again, y'all got to correct this. Yo, hit up them people at Genius, because he said 4th and inches. It's the football reference, American football. Yeah, and on 4th and inches, if you the defense, you better be blitzing, because I'm coming right up the middle.
Wanna show you around, but they Jay Prince.
Dream of taking you down, they hate hitting. Want to show you around, but they Jay Princein'. Now, I did think this Jay Prince bar was interesting. It seems like Pusha T, he shares similarities with someone like Tupac in that if you're beefing with Tupac, everyone who's associated around you is going to be implicated by Tupac. Like he's going at everybody, the crew, you know, your dog, you know, your pet snake, hamster. Like, Tupac's dissing everybody. So Jay Prince's son is the one who discovered Drake. Jay Prince is heavily associated with Drake. The whole Kanye and Drake Free Larry Hoover concert, some would say that Jay Prince had a heavy hand in them even collaborating to do that. Pusha T says, yo, they want to show you around, but they Jay Princein'. Basically, like, they want to show you around, but they're really extorting you. It's how I get this, because, you know, Jay Prince has the reputation, allegedly, of extorting people. I don't know the guy. But this is word around town. And I do find it interesting because later on this album, Pharrell mentions, yo, shout out to Takeoff, RP to Takeoff, Takeoff from the Migos. Jay Prince, his name was often thrown around in the whole murder of Takeoff. Like people weren't saying Jay Prince murdered him, but Jay Prince's name just kept bouncing around, right? So it's interesting that, you know, Pusha T, he probably doesn't like Jay Prince because Jay Prince is associated with Drake and probably for other reasons too. And then later on the album, Pharrell, who also is not cool with Drake, you know, it's like, yo, by the way, free Takeoff.
God bless Takeoff.
It really feels random when Pharrell says that about Takeoff. It's like, why are you shouting Takeoff? Like, are you sampling a Migos song or are you interpolating a Takeoff bar? Or are you just randomly saluting Takeoff? I mean, which is fine. So that shout out to Takeoff combined with this Jay Prince bar, combined with the fact that neither Pusha T nor Pharrell seem too fond of Drake, who was discovered and is closely affiliated by Jay Prince and his son. I don't know. I'll let y'all connect the dots there. I just provided you the blueprint. So yeah, very interesting beginning to this verse right here. 100,000 and maybe you stick with it. Or maybe he's saying the chances, 100,000 chances, like no matter how many chances it takes, we gonna stick with it. We not gonna let the miscarriage get us down. But then the fact that he says I pays for my stork with the baby in it. Is he talking about probabilities or money? Or is it just using it as a metaphor? Like we're gonna do anything possible to make this happen. I don't know. I would like to hear what y'all think about this verse. I did think it was a great verse and it didn't really hit me until I listened to this song with the lyrics pulled up, which I really never do with rap music. But with this Clipse album, I'm like, yo, these guys is very lyrically dense. I can't always just rely just on my ear. So I want to end that there and then kind of get more on my points about this nature versus nurture, right? And this isn't really a critique on this verse or on Malice, but it's more so a conversation about what he says here. Nature versus nurture. Pusha T and Malice had the nurture. They had the right environment. They had the structure. They had the male role model. They had both parents. But they also had the flip side, their cousins who were in the dope game.
We had two cousins here. Had this housing project sewn up.
You know, who kind of had a building that they were running. So people often say nature versus nurture, which matters more? The environment that they're in or like the parents in the household? But I'll also add in a third factor there, your free will. A lot of the times when we look at street rappers and rappers in the street, there's like this, especially in America, I can't really speak about other countries, I can only speak about what I've experienced. There's like this cop-out that we give them. Oh, they did all these terrible things to these people because X, Y, Z.
We don't have the proverbial drug selling story, I had to feed my kids or lights was getting cut out.
One reason I love Malice and like he's enlightened after going through the religious things. So it's almost like dude has been through therapy in a way, the way he talks. So he doesn't feel the need to dress up the terrible things he did. He accepts them and he points out the idiocy in some of the things.
It didn't make sense for us to even be selling drugs.
Like, yo, like my dad was doing all this stuff, like, and then he found crack in his house. Like, this is crazy.
We have a dad that's like 6'2", 6'3". Like, we come from a total functional house.
Like, Malice points out the ridiculousness of it all. And the reason I go so hard about, certain street stuff and how I don't want to hear certain guys rapping about certain stuff on Kendrick albums, GNX, or y'all will notice I'm very critical about certain things, right? Even if I enjoy the music, I'll still be critical about it. Y'all know this if y'all watch my album reviews, especially my album reactions. I was lucky enough to be born and raised in a black community in LA, like one of the last few black neighborhoods. Like we talking like Inglewood, South Central-ish, more so Inglewood in the early 2000s, right? You go outside, there's a bunch of kids playing. We all black, most of us, like 80, 90% it felt like. You go, you knock on your friend's door, you gather all your friends, y'all all go mob to the store, you know. Bunch of black kids, we mobbing. I was lucky to be, I don't even know if that exists in LA anymore. And then I hear stories about my parents, and they had that, but to a much larger extent, more neighborhoods like that. A huge reason we don't have that anymore, and it's so rare, is because of drug dealers. Crack destroyed the community. And I know what y'all gonna say, yo, the government put crack in the neighborhoods, Ronald Reagan, Iran-Contra. You right. No, you're right. That is facts. What you said? What you saying is facts. Wrong button. It's facts. But the same amount of blame that y'all put on Reagan and Iran-Contra and the government, you're right to place that blame on them, but I also put that same blame on the people who was dealing crack. I just do. You gotta be a selfish piece of shit to sell crack to your own neighbors instead of going and getting a fucking job at UPS, at Kinko's, at Radio Shack, go to the military. People would lead you to believe that this is the only opportunity. This is how I had to do this to feed their family. Malice is telling you right here, we didn't do that to feed our family. My dad was a deacon. My dad worked double shift. He worked overtime. We never had to suffer. We had every base covered. All you had to do is to feed your family. No, he didn't. He did this because he wanted the new Jordans.
We were just doing it because we wanted to have the latest fashion, the fly kicks.
There's a vanity to it. You know, the girls like you the man in your neighborhood, people fear you, and you got money. The same amount of blame y'all put on the government, I put that blame on them too. But I also put it on the individual. I put that on a person who was in there selling drugs. And one thing I really appreciate about someone like Whack 100, even though I disagree with Whack 100 on many things, Whack 100 presses on this issue too. Like he'll be on No Jumper and he'll be like, y'all talking about this drug dealer, that drug dealer, whether it's BMF, Big Meat. Whack 100 be like, this ain't nobody to be showing respect to. This ain't nobody. This dude destroyed communities, our community. I don't think people, like I think we glorify it too much and I think we excuse it. Drug dealers were one of the leading contributors of the destruction of black neighborhoods. This is a fact.
Facts.
Again, I'm not saying the government didn't have anything to do with it. I'm saying the same amount of blame y'all put on the government, I put on them too. Yo, Iran-Contra, Reagan, like yo, Reagan did a lot of, Reagan was one of the worst presidents of all time, right? You know, from Reaganomics to the whole crash stuff that he was doing in LA with the tanks through the hood, you know, to the Mulford Act. We ain't even got to Iran-Contra. All that you put on, yo, Reagan was worse than George Bush, in my opinion. And Bush was pretty bad too. You had 9/11, the Patriot Act. But for as bad as Reagan was, I put that same amount of blame on the individuals who decided it was a good idea to start selling crack to their neighbors, to their aunties, getting them strung out. That pretty much eliminated a huge portion of the black community. What I respect about Malice, how I connect this back to Malice, because a lot of people will say, oh, well, they did it because they had to feed their family. People got to do things to survive. They have no other options, which is a lie. You can go to the military, you can go to community college, you can go to LA Trade Tech, you can do a lot of different things, bro. Like, you can go get a job, you can work at the liquor store, you can start cutting hair. There's like options, you know what I mean? They might not feel they have any other options, but whatever. What I respect about Malice, Malice is not at this point in his life dressing it up. I did this because all these bullshit reasons. Malice is pointing out the ridiculousness of it. Imagine his pain. Malice has sat with this thought for so long. that he's even seeing it from other people's perspective. Forget how I affected my community and like things I was doing. Imagine how my dad felt. Shame. Shame. He's talking about shame. Being ashamed for it. That's why, I love this verse. And I love artists who can be rappers. I love rappers who can be just real about it. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, I wanted to separate that part from the actual looking at the verses, because the verses are gorgeous, beautiful, tear jerkers. But as I listened to this verse by Malice, I did want to say something about those two bars. Nature versus nurture versus free will. You know, a lot of times we just talk about nature versus nurture, but I would also just throw in free will in there as well. So anyway, I think I've yapped enough. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all cry to this song yet? The Birds Don't Sing. Let me know in the comments. And shout out to All Things Considered. Two great songs, very needed in the midst of the Clipse album, where, you know, we're getting a lot of drug talk, we're getting a lot of braggadocio. I like that they mixed it up and put those heartfelt records in there. Facts. So anyway, that's all I got for today. Top 5, rapwebsite.com. Peace.